Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
How are you, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Yeah. What's going on?
Not good to finish training, so just got a shower back in the house.
Right. Well, obviously, I want to know all about the fight coming up and all the rest of it. But before we get to that, I'd like to take you back to Salt Lake City, mate, because we haven't spoken since then. And just talk about that. I mean, come on, champion of the world, knocking out the pound for pound #1. Come on, we've got to relive that experience. Talk to me about the fight, the experience, everything, mate.
It was I think that was a surreal moment, but I was leading up to the fight. It was a long time coming, I had a feeling in my heart that I was going to be a world champion. I was knew it, I said it all fight week that this is my time to become a world champion, but I didn't afford the fight was going to play out the way it played out, as far as the altitude taking such massive effect on my performance. You know what I mean? So apart from that, it was a great, fantastic week. Obviously, love for the fight to play out differently, but
well, mate, it can't play out much better than what it did. Let's be honest. Knocked him out cold. That first round, though, mate, you were all over him. Yeah, I mean,
100%.
Sensational opening round. But after that, is that what happened? The altitude?
Yeah.
So,
100%.
Were you totally gassed?
Yeah. It wasn't like a gassed feeling. It was just like my body just wasn't like just completely shut down. And the first time I felt myself, I was moving, do what I'm doing, and going into that second round, I could think what I wanted to do, but my body just wasn't reacting to what I needed to do. You know what I mean? I never felt like that before in my life. You know what I mean? So now to have him back in the home soil, back in the UK, be a totally different fight. So
Well, the only time I've trained at altitude, I've never fought at altitude, but I trained in Big Bear, which is pretty high up. I remember when I first got there, the first few days, I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Because I went there in pretty good shape, so it is a real factor. But when that head kick connected in the 5th round, and because you didn't even follow it up, you just knew, because you could tell when you get the impact. Did you feel it on your shin and just like,
100%.
That's it, it's done, it's over?
Yeah, even the way he fell, he just like pulled like a launcher, he was done. I thought the impact. I seen like the way he fell. I thought there's no way his head wouldn't even touch the floor, because it's like stiff. He's kind of like stiff. I thought this guy's done. But yeah, and that's like we planned the whole training camp for that same technique to land. So that would land in the 5th round. It was perfect.
Nah, man, it is perfect, and well done. Congratulations.
Nah, thank you.
Because you took the long way round. You know what I mean? What was it? A 9-5 win streak going into that one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And a lot of people have title shots way quicker. Talk to me about at home. I'm assuming you got a hero's welcome. I mean, how is it now? When you're back at home, you're the champ. The people of Birmingham. Are you getting any special recognition?
More friends.
That happens.
Man, so everyone just loving it. All the gyms are rocking. It's busy.
Nice.
Yeah, everyone just in Birmingham. I mean, it's mad. I had black posters up everywhere, and it was a good little celebration, little world tour. Good little celebration. So it was good.
Yeah.
But now back to work.
Back to work, indeed.
I had my fun.
Had you fun? So yeah, I mean, I've got to ask. So what is going on? Because all the rumours are that obviously March 18th, hopefully, it's going to be you and Kamaru again for the rubber match. But he's walking around with a brace on. Ali Abdelaziz is saying, listen, Kamaru's going to be there.
Yeah.
If you can't say anything, then I respect that. But from your perspective, were you fighting Kamaru Usman March 18th?
Yeah, 100%. That's what I've been told. That's what me and my team been told. I was spoke to the UFC last week, I think, and they said, no, the fight's down. He's all the training for the fight, So I was like, okay, perfect. So I am aiming towards that. But if something changes in the meantime, then we'll go from there. But now I am focusing on that trilogy against Usman in London.
And of course, as you say, in London, not at altitude, the home crowd, the home turf advantage. He's going to be the one in the octagon waiting for you to walk out. Which is only a little thing, but he's not used to that. You know what I'm saying?
That's always first ever time fight in a way, right? I never fought in Fight Island, but I don't think it's ever fought in someone's backyard. You know what I mean? So obviously I react after being knocked out cold, and then see how I react traveling to the UK, seeing how crazy the fans are, and just want to see how he comes back, you know, because he ain't getting no younger. He's what, 35, 36, probably older. I don't know, you know. So let's see how he comes back.
Yeah. No, it is interesting because, as you said, when he's the champ, he's the pound for pound, the top dog. He's calling the shots. He's in charge. Yeah. He's the last one to walk out. Everyone's dancing to his tune. But now it's completely flipped, you know, and of course not at altitude. So are you expecting, you know, the first round again, like the last fight, but then it continues 2, 3, or whenever it
Yeah, 100%. It'd be a totally different fight. Like I've said it, my coach said it, you know, I knew going into the fight that altitude was going to play a part, but I didn't thought it played that big a part, you know. But I think now I've never lost in the UK, amateur or pro, you know. So I am excited. I love fighting for my friends and my family, and I think it's just be a totally different fight. So I think if you're going in there thinking it's going to be the same fight, you think for a rude awakening, you know.
Yeah. I don't expect you to divulge too much, but obviously he's going to be expecting that left high kick this time, unless he's a fool. Do you know what I mean? Which he's not. He's a smart guy. He's in the position he is for a reason. What do you think he's going to do differently?
Well, I think that was Usman. You know, if you watch the fight, that was Usman being Usman. I can't see how now it's going to be totally different fight. I don't think he might come out, keep not slipping as big, but when you get tired as the rounds go on, you go back into habits, you know, and so I can't. I probably rest a little bit more. I think now.
That's what I'd do if I was him. I'd like take him down like my life depends on it.
Yeah,
all that bastard.
We thought he was wrestling the first fight. Work it out. It's only here for a mile away, you know. So I am prepared for that. I will be prepared for that with me and my team, and physically, mentally. We know that's his plan. That's gonna be his plan. If I was him, that'd be my plan. Is to go out there and try just have a stinker fight. Just go out there, just get the win by any means, you know. And that's what it does anyway. So I can't think trying to come out and have like another striking match or nothing like that. I don't think it's try to wrestle his ass off.
Yeah, I don't think that would be smart for him. How are you two? You know, in terms of your relationship, man to man, you guys get along? Is there any beef there?
Nah, I feel good. I haven't spoken to him since the fight, but nothing. Yeah, he came out and said nothing, and I ain't really said much about it. You know what I mean? Just is what it is. It was a fight. I wanted to win. You wanted to win. But I got a victory, and that's it.
No, he's a cool, respectful guy, to be fair.
Yeah.
You just can't, it's all business, all professional. Obviously, in your division, Leon, once you get past Usman again, I mean, this sounds like a stupid statement, but he's the toughest fighter. You know, I mean, he was the pound for pound number one. You know, I mean, once you get him out of the way, if you beat him this time, then that's done. The rubber match, it's over. You're the champ. There's a lot of contenders there, though. If you had your pick at any of them, and I know this is looking way too far down the line, and I apologize for that, but what I'm getting at is Masvidal. What is going on with you? When you think about Jorge Masvidal in your mind, what is the first word that comes to your mind?
That's the part that's the smash his head in. That's the part that needs to happen. I don't like him that much that I'm rooting for him to win so I can fight him. You know, but he just keeps losing. So it's hard to make the fight make sense. You know, like I even said to if you went out there and fought like in, let's say like December or January, like Gilbert or somebody, beat one of them, then I'll fight you in March and then get Usman in the summer or something. You know what I mean? Let him rest his hands a bit, then I'll fight you in March, but he didn't even do that. So but we'll see. Like I said, I think skill set wise it's two different levels, you know, like his career is doing that, mine was doing this, you know, so it's like it's hard to make the fight make sense right now, but that's the fight that I need to happen, I want to happen.
Yeah, and then there's another fighter out there that you've accepted, I think on 2 occasions, Khamzat Chimaev. Here's the guy that everyone's talking about.
Three occasions.
3 occasions. Jesus Christ, because everyone else is ducking him like crazy. Yeah. So you've accepted him 3 times. What do you make of Khamzat? Because obviously he is on the tip of everyone's tongues these days.
Yeah. He's a good fighter. You know, I don't think he's what the UFC was building him to be. Like this, Untouchable monster. You know, I think he's a solid fighter. He's good. You know, but there's always ways to beat these guys. You know, and this is why I'm on like a 10, 11 fight win streak. I know I'm not just go out there and have a scrap with you. I know how to fight. You know, and but like I said, he's one that's on my list as well that I want to take out. You know, so. Let him go make weight, pro fight Colby or something like that, and then we can run that one as well.
Yeah, but that's all down the line anyway. You got Kamaru Usman, March 18th, bringing the belt back to the UK. I mean, come on, doesn't get much better than that, does it?
I know you did it, so you tell me.
Yeah, mate, it's the best. Well, I was shitting my pants.
Did you feel more nervous, or just what? Then the actual fight for the bout, or just what it is?
Do you know what? I mean, obviously there's a bit more pressure because you're the champ and you want to keep that. But that wasn't really in my mind. The thing was for me, and it's kind of similar to you, it was a rematch. Yeah. But totally opposite circumstances. When I fought Henderson the first time, I got flatlined. I got knocked out majorly, much like Usman. And for me, the hard part for me was the nerves. Because, you know, when you're speaking to people, you're confident. When you do interviews, you're confident. You can lie to everybody, but you can't lie to yourself. And the day of the fight, I was led there trying to take a little nap. And all I could think about was, wow, last time I stepped into a cage with this guy, I got knocked out. And then the nerves started. Then I started being a proper prick to all my team. I was just being nasty, you know. And then I just started laughing. I was like, wow. And then my jiu-jitsu coach said, why are you laughing? I said, I'm sorry. I said, I've been being a prick all day. I said, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to lose a fight. I've lost fights before. I'll probably lose more. And then I was fine. But just thinking about that possibly could be Usman's mindset.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Especially like confident. Like Usman was a confident person, you know, like in his interviews, the way he dressed.
Like, the way he dresses takes confidence.
He's like a little sucker vibe, but also, like in history of fighting, like everyone has been confident at that much and been like changed. Then they never. It's rare to come back the same. You know, it is rare, but. Like I said, I'm preparing for the best. I'm hoping that it comes back the same. You know, I don't be like gun shy or just be a worse fighter. I want him to be just as good as what everyone thinks he is. You know, so I can go out there and beat him again.
I know it's never happened in MMA, but have you ever been knocked out, Leon?
No, never. Yeah. In life,
rocked, anything.
I've been rocked, but not like never been out clean. Never.
Yeah.
Never. Like flat knockdowns, but I'd never like. Yeah, been like out clean. That's like out. You know what I mean? Like you could be more out if you tried. So,
and by the way, I'm friends with Usman. I love him. So it sounds like I'm talking smack. I'm not.
No,
I think his eyes were still open, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, he was a dead man.
Conscious. He was a dead man.
I had to shot dead Mike. He was done.
Oh shit. Where are you right now, Leon? I see you looking around. You go.
At home.
Oh, you're at home. Yeah. So in between training camps, what have you been up to?
Just media work, traveling, spend time with the family. Really, just enjoying this bout. It's been, like I said, been a long time coming. I remember going through the pandemic when everyone's like, "Oh, you never fought for the bout. You never do this. You never do that." And now look, you know. So I've took my time to enjoy it, to soak it all in. Even some days it still feels surreal, you know, to actually that I've set this goal in my head from 17 years old and I've achieved it, you know. So I've soaked it all in now, and now I'm just ready to go out there and prove to the world. Because people still saying I got lucky, you know. So I need to go out there. For me, like I love that. I like people doubting me, you know. That's what motivates me the most, and I'm excited for London. I can't wait.
But isn't that even better though? You know, because I was the same. You know, obviously, you know, I didn't have a run like you did. I had ups and downs and losses along the way. And everyone always said, "Oh, he's never gonna be a champ."
Yeah.
But when you finally do it, you can just.
It's like so. It's the best. You're gonna look at me now, you know, like you're all shit. You're all doubting me for how many ever years. Put everyone in front of me. Fought for the belt twice. Masvidal did, Colby did twice, you know what I mean? It's just like, so like look at me now, like I told you I'd do it, and now I got it done, you know, so.
And as you said there, that it was on the back of quite a bit of bad luck, you know, because you went there, the Tyron Woodley fight booked, which never happened. There was a lot of problems in your way that weren't your fault. How How were you feeling throughout that pandemic, and when you weren't getting the fights and the Woodley fight fell apart and all the rest of it? Was that frustrating, or were you playing it cool?
No, 100%. It was a frustrating time. Like now looking back at it was a blessing because I had time to like improve myself, like mentally and physically, you know. But going through it at the time, just like then like obviously you start reading comments and hearing all the comments. It was you're the worst look far in the UFC, and so you did have doubts in your head, you know. But from there, okay, I took a step back and be like, okay, what can I control? I can control training, I can control showing up to the gym and improving. I can't fight right now because of the pandemic. I can go to the gym and train. So that's what I did. I was like, okay, cool. I went to the gym, train, just kept improving. I think I had like 4 or 5 fights pull out. So that's 5 camps I've had, you know, in the pandemic, during the pandemic, for that 2 years that I didn't get to fight. That's still improvement. I've counted as improvement, you know. And so that's what I said. Like when it was time to fight Usman, I knew that this was my time. I was meant to go through all that so I could be mentally solid. Maybe for that 5th round, you know, maybe if I didn't go through that 2 years, maybe in that 5th round, my mental, I wouldn't be as sharp as opposed to land that kick. You know what I mean? So maybe I wouldn't be as solid, mentally solid to land that kick, you know. So I feel everything happens for a reason. And like I said, going through it at the time, though, it was just, it was annoying. It was heartbreaking, but now here we are.
Well, almost as famous as that head kick is your coach's speech at the end of round.
Dave Movo.
Dave, go on, Dave. What did he say? Can you remember the words?
Yeah.
Come on, give us a rendition, Leon.
Just said, pull it out of the fire phone. Well, like for me, Dave's like he's like a father figure for me, you know. So he knows what I'm like. He sees me in the gym. He knows how good I am. So he just knows that they were so right with me, you know. He's like, mate, like, what you doing? Like, basically saying, fix up. Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't come this far for it all the way, you know what I mean? So that was his way to wake me up in a Jamaican way.
Yeah, Jamaican way. What would it be better? Knocking Leon out? Sorry, knocking Kamaru out. Whoa. Knocking Kamaru out in London or knocking him out in Salt Lake City?
Nah, London. Yeah, imagine the scenes.
Can you imagine it?
Imagine the scenes. It will be, it will be mad. But this is
what are you walking out to?
Probably the same time I was walking out to the Jamaican one, several matter pack. But yeah, just imagine this is what I dream for. This is what pushes me in training, you know, just thinking, okay, this is my first headline back home as well. So it's my first headline and I'm defending my belt. And it's like, I'm gonna be ready. Like, I'm gonna be really ready.
Well, it really is, all jokes aside, it really is what childhood dreams are made of. You know, and I know I started martial arts when I was a kid, and I thought to myself one day, and I did, and I remember it, and I never shared it. I'm going to be a champ one day. I'm going to be champion of the world, and that always drove me. Were you similar like that, Leon? Did you start martial arts young? You know, I mean, obviously you grew up in Birmingham. It's a tough city. I was getting scraps and whatnot as well. Were you a bit of a rough lad when you were younger?
Yeah, 100%. That's what got me into mixed martial arts. You know, like I got into quite late. I was 17. I know some people start from like boxing or kickboxing and go into martial arts. You know, I started MMA altogether at UTC in Birmingham. I remember I think he came before and did like a seminar there. You know,
I did. Yeah, I was very hungover.
I was in the class.
No way. Because I think there was like a video game. Where the release of a video game or something. We went there, but I came and did a seminar. So you were in the class? Oh no, I was in the. Don't tell everyone how bad it was. You're like, what?
I remember looking at like people like you did one, and Chris Lieben did one as well. I remember like being like 17, 18 years old, thinking, oh, like these are UFC fighters, you know, like it was mad. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it was a rough childhood. Born in Jamaica, immigrated to the UK. My dad brought me and my brother Fabian to the UK. Lived in Birmingham, went through ups and downs. Got involved in gangs and stuff when I was like 30 years old. My dad died. Then my mum suggested, because I lived in Editon where the gym was, and my mum suggested me try and mixed martial arts just to keep me away from hanging around on the street. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a go for you. Gave it a go, and that was it. And stuck to it, and now here we are. I
always say this because, you know, martial arts kind of saved my life because I mean, even when I was older, I was still getting in trouble. You know, it's just kind of follows you around a little bit.
Yeah.
But when you're doing something structured, when you go into the gym, whatever it is, you're not hanging out on the street corners. You're not with a bad set of lads. So what do you say to any young men that are out there right now that are maybe, I don't know, struggling in life, or they can't find themselves, or they're getting up to no good? I mean, what words of inspiration? I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Leon.
Yeah. For me, like I said, martial arts changed my life. You know, probably just find something that you're good at. It has to be martial arts. It can be music or business, whatever you enjoy doing in life. Just find your passion and put all your energy into that. You know, like the reason why I was getting into trouble, because I had nothing to do. The close I know the YMCA's in the UK, there's nothing for kids to do here. You know, so you know, hang around on the streets, start smoking weed, start getting into trouble. Then next thing you know, you're getting arrested. You know, so for me, I'll just say, just like I said, find a passion, find something that you love doing, dedicate all your time into it, and like my main motivation was to have a better life for my family. You know, so find your why in life. Like if it's your family, or if you're a kid, your kid or wherever it is, find your why and just use that as your motivation to push through all the naysayers, all the negative things that you're gonna face on the journey. You know, because like it's easier said than done, but like you've got like a why. Like I said, my why is my family and my son. That kept me, even though I felt down one day, I can't be able to go training. Like I thought, okay, there's no when I was young, like there was no money in MMA. I there's no money here, but all my friends are selling fucking drugs. Like I should go follow them. But I thought, nah, like I need to do this. And now look, you know. So just find your why and find a passion and stick to that.
How old's your son and what's his name?
Jayon, and he's 9 years old. He's now doing jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Nice. Come on. He must love that belt.
Yeah. He loves it. He phoned me the other day. He's like, hello. And I'm like, hello. He's like, Dad, they don't believe that. They don't believe that you're my dad. I'm like, what? He's like, it's cool.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh, it's funny but that's what he went for, you know, to get to that point.
Of course it is. And what about your mother, Leon? What's she called?
Verona
must be so proud.
Yeah. She's a solid woman. You know, she's like, if my life was her life was twice as hard as my life. You know, still she's a definition of like persistence and hustle and hard work. You know, like I've never not known her working 2-3 jobs right when I was young. You know, so that's what motivated me to wanting more in life. You know, just seeing her work and just want to basically try to give a better life.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful, mate. And what you've done is just incredible. It really, and you're inspiring so many people, Leon. Really is. All right, I just want to talk to you about Fitbot real quick. Look, listen, we all want to go to the gym and work out and all the rest of it. New year, new me, blah, 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 right? But sometimes you get bored. Sometimes you lose momentum. Sometimes you don't know what to do. Sometimes you're just sick of doing the same old routine. Well, that is where the app Fitbot comes into play. It is a smart workout app which creates custom dynamic exercise programs based on your goals, your experience, and the equipment available to you. So if you've got a great gym to use, great, fantastic. If you're just at home, it'll give you exercises you can do there, or maybe just go down the local park, whatever it is. It will design a workout for you. Okay, the algorithm that it uses data and analytics to scientifically build a workout tailored to your needs, your body, your age, your desired results, whatever you want. It'll tailor a workout to that. By the way, way cheaper than using a personal trainer as well. For less than the cost of one session with a personal trainer, you can have access to Fitbot for a whole entire year. It works on iOS, it works on Android devices. The app is super easy to use. It has video tutorials as well, so it makes learning all the new exercises a walk in the park. And it doesn't matter if you're in the park, it'll be easy to use in the gym as well. Pardon that terrible joke. So listen, what are you waiting for? If you want to work out, you need a bit of inspiration, you don't know what you're doing, whatever the case may be, maybe you've plateaued and you need to break through that next barrier, try this out. Go to fitbod.me/believe, right? Check this offer out. You can try it out for free. Try it out for free. fitbod.me/believe, and you get 25% off your subscription. Or you can try it out for free. Then subscribe and get 25% off your subscription by going to fitbod.me/believe. rightfully/believe. Harrington went to Twitter to ask some questions to see if the Twitter followers have any questions for you. Yeah. So, Harrington, what have we got, buddy? We're gonna get.
All right, Leon.
And you're very lucky, Leon, because you're the champion. Come dressed. Sometimes he has a fucking vest on. He looks homeless. Well, he's dressed today. So thank you for having respect, Harrington.
I got 3/4 length sleeves and everything, dude.
Wow.
Good man.
All right. So the first question I have for you, Leon, Lewis Simpson wants to know, how much has your everyday life changed since winning the belt? Have you felt more need to set an example for the younger generation, not only in Birmingham, but the UK as a whole?
My life has changed for that more people notice me. I get stopped everywhere I go now. But apart from day-to-day life, not really. I still got the same friends, I try to keep my circle small, and as far as that trying to be a motivation for people, I just do me, I live my life. I don't put that pressure on myself that I have to act a certain way or be a certain way to motivate people. I think just me being here, they can see me and see what I'm doing. That can serve as motivation as well, because when I was young, I did have like people to look up to as far as like he's doing it, so I can do it, So I think just me being there, they can see me and touch me. That helps as well,
Well, it's going to get a lot worse, Leon. You're going to get hounded left, right, fight week in London is going to be mental. But it is nice, though, isn't it, to get the recognition, because you've put in, so much hard work, and now getting the recognition. I mean, it's a beautiful feeling. Yeah,
100%. I enjoy it, I do. Like I said, it was a long road to get here, So you weren't easy. It was ups and downs. They made it hard for me, I didn't make it easy. So now I'm here. I'm.
And on that note, what about the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award? Was there any mention of that? Did they get in touch? Nothing.
I went to the awards. They messaged my manager and invited me to the awards. But I thought, am I nominated? Like, oh nah.
Same. I went years ago just to get a picture with a couple of sportsmen, but I wasn't nominated. But to be fair, I wasn't the champion of the goddamn.
Oh mate, they played me like in the arena and stuff, but they put like fucking curling. Like curling was nominated. I was like, what?
You know what I mean? Curling. What is that about? I mean, fair play. I'm sure it's very hard.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. Harrington, what you got, buddy?
All right. So you mentioned your brother Fabian there. He is the number 2 ranked Bellator middleweight right now, and just announced he is fighting Gegard Mousasi in Paris. With a win, does he fight for the title next? And this guy wants to know, how were the brotherly fights in the Edwards household growing up?
That's a good question, because, come on, that must be why you're such a good fighter.
I didn't hear. What did he say? I didn't hear.
He said your brother's fighting Gegard. If he gets through Gegard, will he be fighting for the belt next? But he said, how were the fights with your brother growing up? Because for me, I had 2 older brothers, pardon me, and they used to kick the shit out of me on a daily basis, So how was that?
Like everyone thinks like back and forth fights, but we didn't really fight much. Like we didn't really fight much. We were like obviously little scraps here and there, but it wasn't like something that stands out to me that me and him always fight. Like he's like calm, I'm calm. So like it's rare that we fought. But yeah, this fight is coming up in April, not May, with Gegard. It's really, I can't wait. Like he's one step away from fighting for the world title, and to have 2 brothers winning the world title in the 2 biggest organizations in the world, like I'm excited for him.
That's unbelievable. So he's a middleweight, obviously fighting Gegard Mousasi. I never realized that. I mean, Gegard, that's top of the food chain. Yeah, Gegard Mousasi is the real deal.
Yeah, 100%. I'd like over 50 fights. He's a UFC veteran. But my brother's been there. He's fought Machida, took out Machida in the round. Wow. So it's gonna be a good fight. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
I just want to follow up on that. How do you think a fight would go down? Kamaru and Muhammad versus you and Fabian, brothers MMA fight.
Oh,
that Muhammad's a big boy.
He's a big. Did you see his last fight? You see that knockout?
I see it.
Got that little cheeky left hook. My God, it's powerful, man.
He's a big boy, man, but I go me and brother.
Of course, man. Gonna go with that. But talk about the best. I mean, I'm assuming you two train with each other, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's top of the food chain there, fighting Gegard Mousasi. Doesn't get much higher. I mean, talk about the best training partner on planet Earth.
Yeah, 100%. To have, like I said, every brother in the same journey as you, and he's just as good as you, so you can actually train with him.
Yeah,
you know, it's a dream. You know, like we can bounce ideas off each other as far as like fights go. Like he'll come to me asking me advice as far as like ways to move with his career and stuff like that. So, kind of like mixed martial arts now, family business, it's wild, you know, because I knew nothing about mixed martial arts growing up. And now to have as like basically a family business, it's mad. But I'm very proud of my brother, and I'm looking forward to his fight and him becoming world champion, Bellator world champion this year, hopefully.
I mean, wouldn't that be amazing? You're UFC champ, your brother's Bellator champ.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's gonna happen.
What is your mother feeding you guys? Come on, what is it?
Rice and peas.
Rice and peas.
Good Jamaican food.
Hey, Leon, you got to give me because we say this sometime and I get shit for it off some people.
Yeah.
You got to give me a right about now.
Right.
You're going to give me one of them and that's all.
No. Nah, listen. My mom opened like a Jamaican restaurant for my mom in Birmingham because she loves cooking. So I opened like a restaurant for her. Like, and come to the UK next, Mike. You need to try it for you.
100%. But I was talking over you. Let's have a clean right about now. 3, 2, 1.
Right about now.
Oh God, I'm coming to that restaurant now, mate. You try and
yeah,
keep me away.
Mate.
Harrington, what we got, bud?
Left hook Larry 67 wants to know. Obviously, you know, your brother not counting here, so we'll do only UFC. Who is the next UK champion?
I probably Arnold Allen.
Yep.
He's in my gym. I see how good he is. I see how he works, and he's on like what 10 fight? Is it 9-10 fight? Same as me, you know. But
same as you, mate.
Yeah.
Very similar situation.
Yeah, 100%. So I'll probably go Arnold. Yeah, because he's a good man.
Yeah. No. I was talking to him recently. He was telling me about training up at your place. And who was it? Dan Hooker? Was that his last fight?
Yeah, last fight. Yeah.
He smoked him, didn't he?
Smoked him.
And I said, sorry, go on.
No, go on. Okay.
No, I was just saying, I said to him, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I said, you're kind of in a similar situation to Leon. Both world class, both on these crazy win streaks, but both on the quieter side, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Therefore, I think that it's the longer road. I tell him to talk more because my road was long. What to be like me?
That's what I told him as well.
Don't try to be like me. Like
it's like, shut up, Leon. You didn't say jack shit, and you're champion up as well.
Don't come with my game plan. Like you can talk. You know, like do you?
And then there's Tom Aspinall as well.
Yeah, Tom is sick as well. Tom's good, but I know his knee, right? So I don't know. Yeah, as far as his knees go, otherwise I put him up there as well. But yeah, I think in the UK right now, I said Tom, Allen. Probably this year, yeah, I'll probably say. I'd love for Till to come back and like get back his momentum, man, because he's fucking such a good fighter and such a good person as well, you know. Like,
no, he really is. Man.
So,
but when you say he's a good person there, so I'm assuming you two are on good grounds, because there was a little bit there when you were both at welterweight where you had a little bit of friction, but of course.
Now we're sitting each other now in Dubai. I've been to the gym in Liverpool before. I'm training with his coach and stuff, and went out for food, dinner, and drinks. So now I want him to win now. You know, I cheer for him.
Yeah.
I cheer for him, so.
In the past, you're like, I hope that Scouser gets his egg kicked in.
Open a chin son. Well now the middleweight. I do want him to go out and do good.
Nothing wrong with a bit of competitive rivalry. Harrington, 2 more, please, and then we'll let Leon get on his way.
All right. Christian wants to know, do we have a date for the parade in Birmingham?
Not yet. After this fight, though, 100%. I went and met the mayor of Birmingham and everything, and she wanted to like set one up, you know, but I was too busy traveling and doing media.
Are you big time the man?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Leon. I used to be so humble when I.
Yeah, I know.
A man of the people.
Now, after this fight, I will 100% get one done.
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot because this morning, and I shouldn't even say anything, but I got asked. Remember I did those shows in England? And you came doing something similar again. Details to be revealed, but we're going to be having some guests. Can we get you on stage, Leon?
Yeah, definitely. Wait,
10
after
minutes.
the fight?
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, it'll be like end of the year, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Hamilton, come on, make it a good one. No pressure.
That show was all right. That was a good show, mate.
Was he really? Because I was terrified.
Nah. It was good banter. It was everything in it. It was good.
I was pissed out of my head as well.
Yeah, I know. But
I don't know. Because, no, that wasn't the plan. As you know, the people of Birmingham, they're very generous with free drinks, man. I mean, you saw it, about one point, there was like 20 drinks on stage for me to down. Yeah. And I even had to say, right, guys, what are you doing? You came to the show.
It was a sick show. I never listened to your story, man.
No, thank you, Leon. Hamilton, what have we got, bud?
Okay, Mahanser wants to know, as a felly or as a felly...
How you doing, guys?
Paul's early, Leon's early. Over to you guys. How we doing, Paul?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, man. I'm not too bad. Just
when the fight, Paul?
I'll leave on Monday, and I'll be fighting a week on Saturday.
Let's go, champ. Are you feeling ready?
Yeah, man.
Man.
I'm perfectly ready. I know. As if you ever asked them, they've been like, "Oh man, I'm shitting myself."
Yeah,
I'm shitting myself.
I don't know why everyone asked that question. Like, clearly already, you know, like.
How are you feeling coming into this one?
I know.
It's been a tough camp. It has been a tough camp. Have you done sparring? Have you worked in your stand-up, Paul?
What the fuck do you think I've been doing? Yes, I've sparred. Yes, I'm ready. He's all out. He's tough. You're the best in the world.
Are you ready for London? That's going to be...
Yeah. 10 weeks. We're 10 weeks this week, so I'll start camp this week. So, yeah, I'm looking... It's going to be a good one. Can't wait.
Oh, so you haven't actually started camp yet, Leon?
No, I'm like trickling into it, but next Monday is my official week countdown, you know, so...
All right, mate.
Yeah, it's the last thing you want to do, is it? Just 100%, and then by the time you get to the end of the camp...
Yeah, exactly. You burnt out, you know, so just get my...
Right.
That for me is sometimes like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. So sometimes my coach will pull me back, like, mate, calm down. You're like, fucking, another 6 weeks left. You know what I mean? So it's just about having a good team around you, that can tell you when to cool the fuck down.
Steer you in the right direction, man. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That really is it. And not overtraining as well, because that's what I used to do all the time, just overtraining like a madman. I wouldn't stretch. Make sure you stretch, boys. Yeah. My body is destroyed. I'm walking. I've got a broken back in 2 places. Yeah. Yeah. Agony every day. Leon, we're going to say goodbye. We'll let you go, mate. Listen, we tried to make this happen a few times. Really appreciate it. You delivered. Congratulations on all your success. Truly deserved. The whole nation, the continent, the world is proud of what you've done, Leon. And I'm so happy for you. Good luck against Kamaru. I'll see you in March. All the best. And thank you again for your time.
Good man, Frankie. Thanks for having me. God bless.
All the best, champ. All the best.
Good luck.
See you soon, man. Legend, man. See you soon.
Good man. Bye-bye.
There he is, Leon Edwards. From one champ to another fucking champ. How we doing, Paul Craig?
Fucking, I'm loving this Scottish accent. You know, one of the best things. I rewatched the film Trainspotting, and the bit with Begbie, Robert Carlyle, and he says, "So I square up to him, casual like fucking." He's like, so he's talking about a fight he was in. He's like, "So I square up to him, casual like." Brilliant, best line ever.
Mate,
and that's what yours reminds me.
I watched it a couple of weeks ago, Led in Bed. Yeah, it's a brilliant film. Brilliant.
So good, man. It's brilliant. And the reason I watched it is there's a podcast called The Rewatchables. Right. So they talk about films and they talk about their favourite scenes and all that kind of thing. And that's what made me rewatch it again. So I listened to that and it was like, films is an absolute winner. And I think it's one of these films that, like, I know it's about drugs, but it's about more than that. It's about a group of guys who have all their journeys and come to the end of them. That's not what we're not here to talk about.
No. But I enjoy talking about stuff like this, and because Rebecca, my wife, she'd never seen it, so we watched it and she loved it. We were glued to it. Excuse me. Pardon me. Oh, pardon me. So we put on, and I never watched it before. Trainspotting 2. Have you seen that?
It's pretty fun, man. It's a good film as well.
it's a bit of a letdown from the first one. I mean, it was okay. I think I just went into it with my expectations too high because Trainspotting 1 is like a classic. You have to see it. And Trainspotting 2, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. But, it was a bit of a... you can't compare it to the original.
Yeah, I think it was one of the ones where it's just about they wanted to cross I's, dot some T's and show everybody was happy. But the film was... So the next book in the series is called Porno, and it's about Sick Boy. He ends up becomes a porn director. And they make
really?
Porno. Yep, and the book is brilliant. So it's about him being a porn director and him obviously starring in it.
The next time we speak, I will have read that book, Porno. And the funny thing about Trainspotting as well, I was saying to my missus, I said, I don't know if you remember, Paul, at the time when it first originally came out, it got a lot of flack because it was glamorizing heroin use.
Yep.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? If you see the depths of despair that they end up, I mean, there's people dying and all kinds of stuff. I mean, how the fuck did that glamorize taking drugs or heroin? It was crazy.
The guy, Tommy, who Disney touch drugs, ends up taking drugs, ends up dying, ends up with AIDS, ends up fucking sniffing cat piss, and he's fucking, definitely right. Come on. That scene doesn't really hold up very well, does it? When you're watching it, like all these years later, and you're watching it, that's definitely not a baby.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the pros and cons of Trainspotting. And shout out Danny Boyle and apologies for the slagging off Trainspotting too. Paul, how the bloody hell are you, mate? Thanks for joining us. When do you fly to Brazil?
I'm heading out on Monday afternoon. Still not packed my bag, still not sorted all my nutrition stuff to take with me. I'm one of these guys that are last minute things, but all the hard work's done in the camp,
Yeah.
Everything's done there. Sparring's done. Went to the gym tonight and just kind of went through the motions of hitting pads. Took my daughter. She's turning 16 the weekend. So 16? She's 16. I know I was 18 years old when I had her.
Right.
So, not far off her age just now.
What's her name?
It's Millie. So, as I said, she'll be turning this weekend. She'll be 16. So we were at the gym tonight doing some kickboxing together. It's good. You know better than me, man. How good fun is it showing your craft to your kids? It's brilliant, man.
It is. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, she must be so nervous for you, though. Is she?
No, because I thought that as well. Because I had this conversation with her about watching my fights, and I was like, "Do you not get emotional?" Because I think she was doing like some sort of personal essay in her English class, and I said, "Why don't you do it about that feeling, about these feelings, about leading into fight week? What's it like for you?" Because that's a really emotional time for me. And she was like, "No, I don't really feel anything." I was like, "Oh, cool." Your dad's just going to war, but you're just like, "Hi, Dad, enjoy, have a good trip."
But to be fair, though, she's probably used to seeing you do that. But when did you start MMA?
I was about, I think the first time I went, I must have been about 23, 24, that I walked into an MMA gym. Had done nothing before, so no kickboxing, no boxing. Closest I got to boxing was watching Rocky. That was like the closest, genuinely. I never watched boxing as a sport, so I missed like Mike Tyson being a devastating ring machine. I missed all these sort of upcoming boxers, like Prince Nazim, all they kind of guys, missed them all. So the closest I had to boxing was watching Rocky movies. And then went into the gym, and I remember telling everybody I'd started this new sport. What's it called, Paul? And I was like, "Oh, it's called UFC chokes."
No, UFC chokes.
UFC chokes. It's called UFC.
That's the worst one I've ever heard. I thought you were going to say it's called UFC, right? Because that's bad enough.
UFC chokes. So I had no idea what the UFC was. I had no idea. And
it's called UFC chokes.
UFC chokes. You imagine that as a brand? Would
That's classic.
UFC chokes, man. Just a wee bit of this. And you see, the thing was, I think the first couple of classes, I didn't actually learn any chokes. It was all punching and kicking, and maybe there was an armbar there, and I'm like, UFC chokes, you know what I'm saying? Chatting to the ladies at the bar. Like,
well, I'm glad you mentioned the ladies at the bar, because we touched on this the other day, because we spoke, for those that don't know, on BT Sports. But we mentioned it then. But when we asked you about the luscious beard that you have, and you have a very unique regimen for keeping it so luscious, and of course it is the pussy juice.
It says it's in Leicester Brown.
And now people are hitting you up on the direct messages.
Hitting me up. They're like, "You want some? I've got a a spare snatch if you want it.
See, this is the services that we offer on BYM. We will get you laid. But of course, we don't discriminate. It's not just women that are in your DMs.
It's guys. It's more guys than women. Guys are just, obviously they're offering me another type of juice. Yeah. So I'm one of these guys, I'll try everything twice. First to make sure I enjoyed it, and the second time just to make sure I definitely enjoyed it.
Did you enjoy it?
It was amazing. That's why much more lost.
Jeez Louise. Oh my God. Right, let's talk about the fight for a minute. So I sent you a DM a while ago, and you're training, obviously, so you probably didn't see it. And in my mind, because I overthink everything, I really do, I started thinking, crap, maybe I offended him with my commentary. Because in your last fight, obviously, against Usmans, I was saying, you can't always rely on the jiu-jitsu. And there was nothing critical there, but I have to call it as I see it. And I was like, damn, I hope, from the bottom of my heart, I was like, I hope I didn't offend him. Or anyone that I commentate. So, but you are here. But how is training going?
It's been good. And listen, it's part of your job is to point out flaws in people's skills. No, I totally understand that, man. I definitely wasn't offended. I think you're one of the better commentators for doing that, rather than going hell for leather and just nailing everybody's technique. You're very, very pros and cons with it all. But camp's been good. That last fight, it just wasn't my night. I had went for going through my gym. I'd been there for 11 years, 10, 11 years. I'd been at that one gym. Had that itch and had to move off to a new gym. And just after I beat Krylov, this is when I moved over to just working myself. And I was literally working out my mate's garage. So it was me and Chris Bungard. He's got a gym built out his back garden. We were training in that, bringing in some bodies. So the camp itself, although I felt good getting into the fight, although I believed I'd done enough, there was something missing. And it was probably like a captain in my ship I was missing. When you're surrounded by your pals and you're doing the things you enjoy. So we were doing lots of jiu-jitsu, we were doing lots of technical takedowns, all that kind of stuff. But we were only doing the hard work, we were only doing the hard rounds. And I think that's what kind of set me back in that fight. Hindsight, I probably should have taken the fight until I'd sorted out all my affairs behind closed doors, because in social media, everybody looks great, don't they? You're hitting pads, you're standing, you're looking at... I probably should have taken the fight, but we're fighters, we get in this business for making entertainment, we're making fights happen. So took the fight, lost the fight, watched the fight back, and I was like, man, see if I'd just done this. I'd done a wee bit more of this, I'd done a wee bit more of that. Well, I potentially could have won that fight. But it's shoulda, woulda, coulda, the mark of a loser, isn't it? That's what every loser will say. I should have done this, I could have done this, I would have done this. We don't get second chances to rerun the fights back. So then, when I left that fight camp, I decided I needed a captain. And Stevie Ray had hit me up. So Stevie Ray is 30 minutes up the road from me. He's at Listen Paul, higher levels just here. If you'd be interested in working ways, James Dolan, the head coach, would love to have you. I was one of these guys who I had been on slating them, saying they're not that good, they're not the best gym. But until you actually go into the gym and see how people train, you really can't say who's good and who's bad. Because I'm in that gym and I was blown away with the level of athleticism, the level of coaching that they've got, and the actual mat itself, how busy it is and how busy the talent is on that mat. So when I started working there, with a young guy called Sean Clancy. Now he's 19, just turned 20, and it's this next generation of MMA athletes. Gone are the days of being a striker or Paul Craig, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. Yep. The guys now are MMA fighters.
And they're starting off like that as well.
Yep.
And this new generation.
That's one sport. Yes. And as I look at the guys, there's a young guy called Mark Ewan who just was over in France fighting, absolutely smashed it. I think he's looking to move to PFL, get to the UFC, get to Bellator, all these kind of shows. That's what his aspirations are. And the same again, the young kid has got a totally different mindset from what I have seen with guys in the UFC or guys trying to get to the UFC, and a totally different skill set. The level's just through the roof. And it's good I'm excited to be part of you were the guy that paved the way. I'm just on the back of your wave. But behind me, there's a next generation who's bringing a bigger wave to this UK MMA. So it's an exciting time to be part of this sport.
But also, I mean, from what you mentioned there, it sounds like it's a busy mat. The beauty of that I was kind of the same way. I kind of like did my own thing for a while and all the rest of it. But when you go into a busy gym like that, and there's all different body shapes, size, styles, you know, every time it's a different test. Every time you spar, every round, it's a different test. It's a different puzzle to figure out. You know what I mean? This guy's tall, this guy's short, he's really strong. This guy's kind of fat. If he gets on top of you, you're kind of screwed. Do you know what I mean? And it's so beneficial, though, it is to have all the different styles.
Yeah, and that's it. It's like, come a fight, we don't know what your actual opponent's going to do, is it? You've got an idea, like, right, I know roughly what Johnny Walker's going to do. He's going to come out, he's going to try and bull rush, he's going to be flinging wild shit. He tagged me in a post recently where he's doing, like, capoeira kicks, spinning back kicks, like tornado kicks, all this kind of stuff.
You think that's bullshit?
That's brilliant.
Do you think he's trying to con you a little bit?
I think he is, because I know he's been at a boxing gym. I know he's been going to a few boxing gyms trying to improve his skill, because he is a powerful guy, you know, athletic very much. If he lands, and it's the same as MD, if MD swings to the back of their arse and swings at a big massive haymaker and they land, you're going to hit. But the days in the MMA are gone. They old school guys like Chuck Liddell who were just swinging absolute mallets to people's heads, their days are gone. The Wild West days are gone, and we're now into this very technical based fighters. And not insult Johnny Walker, because he's in the top 15 and he was a title contender for a reason, going back a few years ago, because he is very skilled in being crazy. But I just believe, like, my development, and you've said it in one of the interviews, like, Paul Craig's learning his craft in the octagon. I'm a few fights, I think I'm 7 years maybe, 7 years in the UFC. So
wow, is it 7 years already?
It's
congrats, man. That's a hell of a run in itself.
I know, so I've been there, and I was the guy that sat on the outside. I've sat outside that top 15 for a long time, fighting guys like Ankalaev, fighting when the UFC were just feeding me these guys like, oh, you're fighting Jamal Hill, or you're fighting Ankalaev, or you're fighting this next up and coming guy, and they just kept giving me them. And as I say, like, I ain't in the sport for fighting. I didn't get in the sport to sit in my ass and watch fights and pretend to be a fighter, and on social media I look like a fighter. I'm a fighter and I enjoy it. And just over the last few years, I've had a wee bit more success in developing my skill. Jiu-jitsu base, I've kind of got that sorted.
Yeah.
But it's my striking I need to improve, and that's what we've done. When I first went to James in higher level, what he did was he was like, we're going to sort your shit first. We're going to sort your centre of gravity, so you're able to fling shots, you're able to move, and you're able to get away from shots, and you're able to see everything coming. That's what he spent a lot of time doing with me. And then from that, it was then moving into what's Johnny Walker going to do.
And that is the big question, isn't it? What is Johnny Walker going to do? Because as you say, and as everybody knows, when he first came on the scene, he was a wild man, ridiculously explosive, crazy unpredictable, and he would catch people with stuff. And he has tried to round out the skill set. Try and make it a little more orthodox, I think, would be a good word. Training with John Kavanagh. And I'm just curious what you think, because of course you want to have those fundamental skills. They're necessary. Yep. You need those. But sometimes what brings you success in the first place, if you get away from that too much, that can be detrimental. You know, there's got to be a good balancing ground, a good middle ground. So what do you expect? Do you think he's going to come out and be kind of crazy? Or do you think he's going to play it a little bit more conservatively? He's going to try and stick to a solid game plan, use fundamentals, flicking out jabs and stuff like that? Or you're just going to be ready for whatever?
So if I was Walker, I think he's fighting against me. I think he needs to be very composed. Ozdemir came up with a game plan how to beat me, and it's not engaging. He won that fight by not engaging and staying at a nice range, not allowing me to get in tight to his hips. If Johnny Walker does that, then there's a chance that he wins this fight. If I was his coach, I'd say, listen, you need to use your range, you need to be composed, you need to use the flicky jabs, use your range.
Get around the octagon.
Yep, because if he comes in and he gets a hold of you, he's pulling you to the mat. Yeah. And do you have the jiu-jitsu level to stop him from grinding the shit out of you? I don't know. I've never seen him enough. I've never seen enough of his jiu-jitsu to say he can actually survive 15 minutes of having me basically dry humble, but I don't believe he's got that ability. So that's what I would do. But that's fine until you get hit. Once you get hit, you know it steps in. All that training just goes back out the window, and what happens is
instinct.
The old version of you comes out, and you start throwing all these crazy shots, and then that again is where a jiu-jitsu guy capitalizes on you fling, you overcommit with a spinning back kick. and I'll take your back. You overcommit with 8 big massive overhands, then I'm going right under him, taking the legs away feet.
Yeah, man. I can't wait. I'm excited. And as we were saying the other day, you're 6-1 in your last 7 fights, right? So if you beat Johnny Walker, you will have won 7 out of your last 8. There's a big title fight going down in the main card. We've got to ask you about that. But if you get this done, you get back on track. The resume speaks for itself. So you're closing in on that, as I'm sure you know. But Jamal Hill, former opponent of yours, only person to defeat him is yourself, taking on Glover Teixeira, who everyone has tons of respect for. The man's a legend, but he's also 43. How do you see that one going down?
You know, we spoke about this in Glover. He's 43. I'm not saying he's done, because he's far from being done in this sport. But I just think Jamal Hill.
But he's got to be getting close to being done, right? Because
he's obviously coming to
It's just facts. It's just facts.
Yeah, I think it comes to a point where, if you're going through fight camps and you're not developing as an athlete, or you're not developing everything's staying the same or dropping, meaning your body fat's increasing, meaning it's going to be harder to make that weight. You're slow to the mark. We see it with footballers. Once they start to lose that speed, that snap in them, they kind of have to then go to different leagues and then work their way out. Do I think he's having tougher camps? Yes, I do. I believe that his numbers aren't as great as they were going back maybe 6 or 7 years ago, when he was an absolute beast, and then he was just kept off the top by absolute beasts as well. I'm glad he's won the title, but I just believe youth and athleticism, and Jamal Hill's going to catch him through that. Jamal Hill is not the guy you look at and think, he's an absolute monster. You know, when you look at Yoel Romero and you think, that guy's a beast. You don't look at Jamal Hill and think that. But what he's got is this striking, this ability to flick that jab, and that jab hurts. Like, if he hits people and they just fall, they just crumble. We've seen him when he done it to Johnny Walker, and he done the Mexican.
Tell him he did a Mexican wave.
Mexican wave, and then slams against the cage. And I quite like it. He's like, I take people to Touch Up University. Like, so he's like, it's a crazy name. Like,
Touch Up University.
Touch Up University.
Like that.
It's pretty fun. So, and he does it, and he's been up against some tough guys, and he's made them look like nothing. And I believe that he's going to do the same here. I believe he's just when you speak to him, he's so confident, and I think that's what's going to stand him in good stead. I don't think he believes he can be beaten. I think that's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. Of course, belief is everything. The power of the mind, and it seems like a cliche thing to say, but I tell you, manifestation, it's a real thing. We were supposed to have one Lionheart Anthony Smith on here today.
He shot it.
He did. He shot it.
Lionheart, man, always fucking shit a bit.
Oh my God, living out here in California, I haven't heard "shat it" for a while. It's been a long time since I've heard that, mate. Oh my God. He's flying down there as a backup. I'm sure you're aware of this, right?
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So he's training right now because he's going to be down there if, God forbid, Glover or Hill, I don't know, one of them slips and bumps the head, doesn't make weight, whatever it is, he's going to be there. What do you make of that? What are your honest feelings?
That's a huge jump, man. That's like, I'm right at the front. If Jamal Hill wins this fight, I'm hitting the Q jump pass. I've got my token already fucking printed. I'm getting ready to go, and I was going to use it if Ankalaev won. But that's a bit.
That kind of confuses you a little bit.
To be fair,
the
UFC have to put on a show. The UFC.
Yes, correct.
I totally understand that. And the last thing you want to do is start taking me out for my fight to then step in.
That's it, exactly, because otherwise then they have other problems. So they're going to bring an extra guy in, and Anthony was there, and he was supposed to fight Jamal, right? Initially, they probably put. Yes, so I think I understand the frustration from your perspective, because you're trying to earn that title fight as well, and Anthony, as everyone knows, he last time out snapped his leg and it didn't go his way. So I understand the frustration. In that main event, then, so you've got Jamal Hill though winning, right?
Yep. MMA is a sport where anything can happen. It's the drop of the hat. It's the fights just change. But I think seeing him up against Yari Prohaska, and Yari Prohaska is an absolute monster when it comes to.
Isn't he a wild man?
He is. But I think I think as a champ, he could be a more rounded version of himself. You know, when you have that champ mentality, you train better, you work on these areas, you watch back that fight, and you try and improve. Watching him and watching him fighting against Glover. Glover had that fight won so many times, and for some reason it just, I know there was so many times you're like, right, Glover's won, brilliant. Glover's gets back. Oh, that's Glover's in this top position.
Oh, when he got mounted, he was raining down blows. Yeah.
There were so many in that time, but his killer instinct away. And then how did he win the title? He got a quick tap off Jan Blachowicz, didn't he? I mean, that was already cinched in. Like, whenever had his back, had him sprawled out, and then he sat in that rear naked choke, and Blachowicz was already tapping before before Glover had even tightened that shit up.
Yeah.
I know he's done all the work before, but I cannot see past Jamal Hill. That's like, and I want him to win. As I said, like I'm there with the Q jump. I'm there with the, like, listen, he's only one loss in his record the last time, and it wasn't just like I took him to the wire and it was that was a close one. It was a proper no. I beat you. I snapped your arm, dislocated your shoulder. Can I get a shot? Can I get a shot again?
Well, you make a good case. You really do. And if you get the job done Saturday night, and it is the only loss on his record, you know, so it does make a lot of sense. And to what you were saying there, you know, for Jamal, and this is kind of how I feel about it, Glover's got to be perfect for 25 minutes. In fact, they've both got to be perfect. Jamal's got to keep it on the feet. We know that. But if he connects with Glover, with the power that he has, you know, then I can see him winning that way. What else is new, Paul? Anything else in your personal life?
Nothing, man. Just grinding, just trying to make that buck. Signed these 6 fights to the UFC.
Oh, that's right, congrats.
Yep, that shows a bit of confidence in me, because I've only hit maybe 4 fights, and going back, like when I first signed the contract, my first few contracts, I was like, right, I don't know if I'm going to get a new contract. Like, coming off a 2-2 in the UFC for my first fight, I was like, I might not get a contract. And they sent me a new contract out before fight, and then I think it was like 3-2 or 3-1 in my second contract, and the same again. I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting a contract. So I've always had that. And the UFC is one of these things, because they've got like that Dana White Contender Series, because they've got these because they've got these guys that are coming in all the time, you're easily replaced in this job. Like, you're just another fighter to the UFC top. Like, if you're not going to do it and you're not going to be the company man, then I've got another 10 guys that will be the company man, and I'll bring them in. So show me a wee bit of faith, and like, I think it's a good thing. Like, 6 fights plus those titles, those title things in there as well, that in the opportunity of a title, then this is what the contract changes and all this kind of stuff. So I'm quite glad that, and quite glad that's the contract that they offered, and this is the first fight. So a few years ago I said 35 was the number, and I was bowing out at 35. But I've been in the gym, and I've been working with guys at Boxing Science, and I've been blasting some heavy numbers, like with regards to speed, power output, strength. Body fats went down, lactic acid buffering's through the roof as well. So all these kind of things, like, right, Paul, you know, you've still got a wee bit left in this tank. Let's see what we can do in these 6 fights. Let's see how close we can get to getting that title within 6 fights, and then sign that big contract that will change my family's life.
Yeah. Wow. And as you said before, though, you know, you're talking about other avenues, contenders, and all the rest of it. You're flying the flag for Scotland, though, Paul. You know, because I think did Calderwood, she retired now, right? Is that correct?
I think she's back. I think she's got a fight coming up soon.
Oh, really?
I know she retired. She retired, and then she got another fight.
She came back.
There's one
Casey O'Neill.
Casey O'Neill, but she's kind of like.
Well, she's Australian. She was raised in Scotland.
So I
can't blame her for moving to Australia.
I know. Like that's why I'm wearing a tammy, because it's absolutely freezing and really wet outside. Yeah. So, but she's like Australian, Scottish. But there's one other guy who's Danny Henry, who's part of the team that I'm with now. Yeah. And he was meant to fight in Paris this mid last year, but he ended up injured, and I think his opponent ended up injured, so it kind of worked out well for them. But yeah, I'm pretty much the Scottish guy in the UFC, which is kind of a cool thing, because I want to try and help Scottish MMA as much as I can, like the same as what you've done for like UK MMA and English MMA and the guys that are down in Manchester. If you're the guy down there, I want to be the guy in Scotland. I want to try and get more people through the door at a younger age, and we need to set up we need to set up something within, like, I know the UK, and Mark Goddard's doing a lot down in England to have, like, IMAF. I think Scotland's needs somebody, and it's definitely not me, but Scotland's needs somebody to step up and be like, listen, all the gyms, all these kind of clans that are warring amongst each other, let's get our heads together and let's actually make Scotland a better MMA place. Because as I'm saying, like, when you look at how many people are in the UFC down south compared to up Scotland, like, it's very, very small, and it's only because we're all trying to fight each other. It's only because all the lighter guys are fighting the best, and Scotland's fighting the best in Scotland. Like, the two guys are smashing each other, and they're never getting an opportunity because they're record.
And it's silly. It's silly for them to do that, because they could be two potentially world-class guys in the future, but they both get a loss on their record and maybe get disheartened in the early days.
Yep.
But you're a great ambassador for Scotland, Paul. You really are. I mean, you're the perfect guy. You walk out, you got the blue face paint on, you fucking fight your ass up inside the octagon, and you're not a bad guy either. You're a bloody hell of a guy.
I'm leaving this here, big head.
Jesus Christ, come on, Paul. You're flying the flag. Harrington, do we have some questions from Twitter for our good friend Paul?
Oh, we have quite a few, Paul. Thanks for jumping on with us here. Okay, after you shake the world in Brazil, what's the next move? Are you fighting in London, or are you going to continue to champion this Glasgow card?
Glasgow.
I don't think Glasgow's ever going to happen again, because it just makes London.
Hold on. Can you just tell him it's not Glasgow?
It's Glasgow.
It's Glasgow.
I'll take Glasgow. I'll take Glasgow as well.
But not Glasgow.
Glasgow.
Glasgow, man.
Glasgow. So I don't think the UFC, I don't think will come back to Scotland. Although they put on an absolute performance with, like, the fans in Scotland. When you look at places like the Hydro and you look at, like, what they hold numbers wise, you go to London and you pay London prices, so the ticket prices are already worth more than in Glasgow.
It's ridiculous,
and
isn't it?
I know, and because it's so big, they just sell so many seats. I would love to fight again in Glasgow because I've got some unfinished business there, but after this fight, it's maybe a few months, so it's like I've got the whole of February and then 18 days into March. I can definitely fight that. Anthony Smith's already in a camp, so potentially it could be Anthony Smith in London. That'd be a pretty good fight in London.
Well, Anthony said he wants to fight in March, and he said he's pretty much guaranteed he's got to fight in March. So if you get a quick turnaround, are you saying right now, my co-host, the owner of this podcast, because everyone calls it the Anthony Smith podcast now, even though I found it.
He's not here because he shit the bed.
Yeah, he shit the bed. Anthony, you're saying, are you calling him out right now? UFC London.
Listen, I think me and Anthony Smith, like, he's obviously came out and said he wanted to fight me after one of his, when he was doing, like, the press conferences and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a fun fight. Mm-hmm. I think jiu-jitsu guys, two high-level jiu-jitsu guys, kind of stalemate each other, and it just turns into this rock'em sock'em robot fight, you know, where guys are just bam, 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 bam. And I think that's how it's going to go. And I'm always looking for, like, a challenge. Like, I kind of like to have that title of being the jiu-jitsu guy in the light heavyweight. You know, I am the guy that does jiu-jitsu. I thought Krylov would have been much more deadly in the world of jiu-jitsu than I was, and when I went up against him, but it was easy. So I believe that this could be a cool jiu-jitsu fight, which would result in us two just trying to punch lights through each other. So that in London would be pretty cool.
Talking about London and talking about Scotland, obviously you're going to be in Brazil. You're fighting a Brazilian down there. Where was it out? Because we had a beer after your fight. Was that Sao Paulo?
It was,
yeah, Sao Paulo. Obviously, you're going into enemy territory on this one.
Yeah, we did the same there. We fought Shogun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course. Come on.
As we're walking out, they're chanting, they're like, "You're going to die."
Full man of hair or whatever.
Aye, as I was leaving, they were cheering me, which was kind of cool.
Really. That's nice.
Aye. So I know it's part of the sport, and I don't think it matters anywhere in the world you go. If you put on a performance, and you leave everything in the octagon, right? It went to a draw, and some people say they won, some people say I won. It doesn't matter. It went to a draw. But if you put on a fight for the fans, then the fans will get behind you, man. It's such a beautiful sport. They're pretty loyal, as well as being like they support their own. Like, the love I get in the UK and I get in Scotland is huge, man. And as you said, like, I'm the Scottish guy, and it's a nice feeling to have your country behind you, and like, you must be the same, like, the first.
Well, you know, England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, you know, being Great Britain.
I know, like you are, but then you've got that, you're like the first English, the first UK, whereas I'm
Great Britain.
Like, aye, you've got to give like dual citizenship, like as well. I want to be the first.
Cypriot. I was born in Cyprus on an arm.
That's what I'm.
So I'm claiming Cypriot as well.
So I'm like, I'm going to be the first Scottish, because I can't be the first British. So I'm like, I'm going to be the first Scottish. That's what I'm hanging my hat on.
From the bottom of my heart, Paul, I hope it happens. But either way,
mate,
I wish you the best this weekend. I love watching you fight. I love talking to you. You're always welcome on here anytime, mate. Have the best performance. Honestly, I hope you go out there. I like Johnny Walker. He's a nice guy. But obviously, I always support, you know, the home country people. So, safe flight. Have an amazing fight, mate, and hopefully we can talk afterwards. But thank you for your time.
Yeah, man. I'll be on that. See that week after this, after Saturday. I'll be on the podcast Monday.
Fucking right. Let's go. Safe journey, Paul. Kick some ass.
Right, I'll speak to you soon, man.
All right, Paul.
Always a pleasure.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Right, cheers, bye, man.
In a bit. Yo, Harrington, jump on, my friend. Where are you, buddy? There he is.
Dude, how great is Paul Craig?
Isn't he the man? He's the best. Honestly, like, he's just a class act. Just a class act. But I'm fine. But I'm thinking, like, the believers in America, like, what is he saying? I understand him perfectly, but first of all, it was Leon. How good was Leon?
Dude, incredible. This is a great Believe in Me podcast. Let me just say that.
Well, I should bloody well think so. We've got two fantastic guests. Anthony Lionheart Smith is not here because he's training for a fight as well. He's going to go down to Brazil. He was going to try and make it on, but I said, you know what? Focus on the fight. That's the important thing right now. We can sit around and do podcasts any time. But yeah, Leon, I mean, what a laugh. What a great sense of humor. Dropping the old right about now. The rice and peas. And then Paul Craig. Paul Craig's just a class act, man. I love talking to both of them people. It's going to be a good fight card next week. But listen, Harrington, throw something at me. A non-MMA. Let's do some non-MMA. What have we got?
Okay.
There's one story in particular that you've got to start with.
I don't know how we haven't spoken about this yet. Prince Harry's book is absolutely insane.
Right, Brian, don't play yet. I'll cue you. And anyone that's not got their head buried under a stone, is that the expression? Yeah. Anyway, anyone that's not dead must have seen this and heard this by now. But what is he doing, right? Without sounding like an asshole, I'm the only person here that's done a book, right? I did a book. I've done things in my life that could be classed as sensationalized. I don't put them in the book to sell them. I'm from a working class town. I am not the prince of goddamn England, right? Yes, I had my first ever sexual experience. Didn't put it in the book because we've all been laid, hopefully, or you will be at some point. You know, yes, I remember it vaguely, very well, very excited I was. Didn't put that in my book. There was a lot of things. There was a lot of kickoffs in our house. My mum and dad going at each other, me getting battered every day. Didn't put that stuff in the book because, you know, I'm not going to throw my mum and dad under a bus. But me and my brothers, they used to kick the shit out of me. I'd have a go back. Again, didn't put that stuff in the book because don't wanna shame them. But that was in the army.
What about your extensive body count?
My body count?
Yeah. The amount of people you've killed.
Oh, yeah.
The book?
Exactly. He went in the army. He's talking about killing 25 Taliban. Do you know what I mean? You don't do that. I think there's like an unwritten code. Like my dad was in the forces. He was a sniper. He was in the conflict in Northern Ireland and the Falklands War, you know? And I think he's alluded to that maybe he did have to pull the trigger and use that a few times. But, you know, he doesn't shout it from the rooftops. Certainly doesn't put it in a book. And not the smallest thing to do. Say, I killed 25 Taliban fighters. But I don't do any of that because it's just not good taste, right? He's the Prince of fucking England. Have a bit of shame about yourself. But this one, and by the way, it is National Kiss a Ginger Day. So I think I'm the closest one to a ginger here looking at my beard. But this one, I was on Instagram and I saw this and I could not believe this. Brian, please, for the love of God. And then feel free to chime in, Brian, because we haven't seen you on the show today yet. The believers love you.
Oscillating between extremely sensitive and borderline traumatized. The last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan. I've been trying some home remedies, including one recommended by a friend. She'd urged me to apply Elizabeth Arden cream. My mum used that on her lips. You want me to put that on my todger? It works, Harry, trust me. I found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time. I felt as if my mother was right there in the room, and I took a smidge and applied it down there. My penis was oscillating between...
What is he doing? Number one, his mother, the great Lady Diana, Princess Diana, who's, as you know, she's not with us anymore. He's going to like her, and he's going to bring her up in the same sentence of sticking Elizabeth Arden cream on his cock.
This is the weirdest, most psychologically damaged thing I've ever heard anybody say out loud.
On his todger, Brian.
It's wild.
What is he doing? I know he's trying to settle books. He doesn't need the money. Him and Meghan Markle, shame on them both, right? I'm just going to say, shame on them both.
Didn't they get kicked out of the royal family? Aren't they like excommunicated?
No. They can. They're still part of it. And to be fair, they're just not rising to it. They're just not commenting on any of it. It's talk about bringing embarrassment. I mean, what is he doing? Talking about, why would you put that story in your book? You've got enough stuff to talk about. You're going to talk about sticking Elizabeth Arden cream, which my mother used to use. All of a sudden, all I could think about was my mother. So I stuck it on down there on the todger. Yeah. What is he talking about anyway? Why did he need to put cream on his cock?
Dude, why is he doing the reading of his own audiobook and accepting this? Like saying these words out loud into a microphone in a setup very similar to where I'm at now. I'm not emailing that to you, period.
They're royal people, dude. They don't understand the regular nuance of social interaction. He's just like, yeah, frostbite on my dick, so I put my mom's face cream on it. This is like the weirdest, most Freudian thing I've ever heard.
It's just bizarre. But I'm just waiting for Brian to bring up Jeffrey Epstein and the roster of the island.
I mean, you all know about it,
You just every episode is like, boom, there comes Brian. Oh dear, I saw it yesterday. I was just like, what is he doing? He's out of his goddamn mind. But still, thought we'd have a bit of comedy relief with that one. I'm still in shock at Paul Craig and Leon Edwards. They were awesome. What's the biggest story we're looking at? I mean, obviously we've got fights this weekend. Let's talk about that, actually. Did the main event change before or after Monday's show?
We broke the news on the show.
Oh, we broke the news on the show. That's right. That's right. We did. Well done. Looking forward to that one. Did you see Sean Strickland's press conference at the Apex? The shades on.
Talking about the French?
Saying that Nassourdine Imavov is a little Frenchy. What are the French known for? For being cowards, okay? He's from Dagestan. He trains in Paris. Yeah, he's a Dagestani. Nassourdine Imavov. The clue is in there. Vov. Nurmagomedov. Magomed Ankalaev. Nassourdine Imavov. Yeah, no, he's Dagestani, but just happens to be located. But whatever. I will say this. He's entertaining though, isn't he? Strickland. I mean, he's wildly out of his mind. Out of his goddamn mind.
I love that he was wearing the sunglasses they give you like at the doctor's office when you get the drops for your eyes too.
But that's why.
Nothing. Oh, really?
Pardon me, choking on my own saliva. No, he just had his eyes dilated because it was last minute. You know what I mean? So once a year, you got to get your eyes dilated and you can go see an eye specialist.
Oh.
It used to be a troubling time for me in the last few years of my career. So yes, and they have a good old look in there. But yes, you got to wear shades because otherwise too much light goes in your eyes and can do a lot of damage. But yeah, I was like, what are those shades? I just thought they looked kind of cool for a minute. And then I was like, hold on a minute.
You were about to go stunting in the medical glasses?
Oh, yeah. So what's the big story then anyway, Harrington? What have we got? Big MMA story. Let me see. Not one. What else have we got? Well, Conor McGregor chimed in, didn't he? He called Kelvin Gastelum an absolute scruff before claiming that Gastelum had a full-on staph infection. But, that's McGregor beat McGregor. All good. What else?
Right. And Gastelum, for his sake, did respond and said, this must just be the roids and the coke kicking in. So.
Oh, is that what he said? Because I saw, and this pisses me off. These days, you click on a story, right? And it's all bloody ads or whatever. And then you have to click continue, so it takes you to a next page and stuff like that.
Right. I
was like, I can't be arsed. So I never got to see it. So he said, that's full on, this is McGregor. That's full on staph infection all over his fucking face. A fucking whole OMG. And it's his second time to attempt to enter a competition like this. What the F? Clean your mats, wash yourself, effing go to the doctor. Scruff. So then he said, relax, you little leprechaun. The coke and the steroids are kicking in. Well, the leprechaun, no marks for originality on that one. With the coke and the steroids, wild accusations. Fair play. He's allowed to respond.
Accusations.
Pardon me?
I said accusations. Like, we don't all have eyes.
What do you mean?
To call it accusations, to watch a man who I watched fight at 145 pounds, now walking around at a clean 210, and to tell me that there's nothing. Needles? Come on.
I think we all know. The truth. Diego Sanchez. Tell me about Bryce Mitchell. What's he going on about?
So Bryce Mitchell came out, and he had like an issue with Alexander Volkanovski's recent slate of opponents. He said, I'm tired of him talking about there's no other contenders. He ain't fighting the toughest mother effers. So what's up with him? He's getting the easiest effing fights. These contenders are taking each other out. That's what's going on. He's getting paid 100 times what I get paid to fight mother effers that aren't even hard as the mother effer I'm fighting. That's what's going on. So Alexander Volkanovski, he wants to fight an easy contender right here. Somebody he can just beat up and get paid easy money. Hey, come on, buddy. I'm easy money.
He also believes the earth is flat. So, like, his judgment is weird. You know what I mean?
You should have done it in the accent, Howard. You should have like, what does he say? What is it? That Volkanovski, like, he want that easy contender, right? Right here, number one contender. Y'all want that easy fight? Y'all want that easy money? Y'all getting paid 100 times what I get paid? Right here. That's
easy money in Arkansas.
Yeah, it's Arkansas.
Easy money.
He's in Lincoln, Nebraska with Anthony. I think that's why I say Arkansas. No, look, listen. I mean, Bryce Mitchell, I love what he brings to the octagon. He's a hell of a fighter. He's incredible. The reality is last time at the office was not good. Okay? He got handled. The flu, of course, that's what he's saying. He's saying he had the flu. And I get that. Maybe he was sick. Maybe he wasn't. But even take him at his word, I believe him. I don't think he's going to come out and make up a complete thing like that. You never know. Some people would, but I don't think he is, because he didn't look himself. Don't get me wrong, Aliyah Taporia is good, but Bryce Mitchell had nothing. Now, sometimes you do have a bad night at the office. However, the point is, regardless, he got beat. So right now he's at the back of the queue. He's at the goddamn back of the queue. So what the hell is he talking about? And Volkanovski, you can't knock up Volkanovski for what he's done. Max Holloway took him out in style. Chang Sun Jung. Who else? Brian Ortega. I mean, he's fighting all the top boys. You cannot, make those kind of accusations against.
But he does have a point that the top contenders at featherweight have been like literally just eating each other like piranhas, stopping them from getting to the top. That's how you end up in a situation where Max Holloway fights for the title or has 3 title fights against Volkanovski inside of 18 months or whatever it was.
Yeah, but no. Volkanovski's been fighting the top guys. I mean, listen, the fight with Holloway, the thing is, and I get his point, he's probably a little frustrated. I mean, yeah, here it is, Volkanovski, Holloway, Chang Sun Jung, Brian Ortega, Max Holloway, Jose Aldo, Chad Mendes, Darren, we're going way back now. He's been fighting the top guys. The problem for him, he's probably frustrated that there was 3 Max Holloway fights, but everybody wanted to see them, and people thought Holloway won the second one, so they had to do it again. You know what I mean? You had to do the trilogy. By the way, if you like trilogies, I did a video on my YouTube channel of all the trilogies in the UFC. Go check it out. Anyway, Jake Shields, as we know, former welterweight title challenger, recently got into a little skirmish with Mike Jackson at the PI. What is Mike Jackson going on about now?
So Mike Jackson, he's been cut from the UFC, right?
Why did he get cut? Do we know?
He says it's completely unrelated. I mean, realistically, it's because he went 1-2 with 1-2 with one no contest over the course of his UFC career, and he's 37 years old. So, I mean, you know, no, I'm not besmirching him by his imagination.
No, for sure. But reality is, you know what I mean? He wasn't having a particularly good run. He's 37 years old. He's one of the lighter weight classes. He wasn't setting the world on fire. He's not hyping up everybody to buy pay-per-views. You know, it's a tough business decision, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
There is a silver lining, though. Now that he's no longer under contract with the UFC and risking losing anything, Mike Jackson is ready to settle the score with Jake Shields via boxing match at his gym in Houston.
I've never heard something so stupid in my entire life. Never heard something so stupid. A boxing match. Jake Shields took you down, got on top of you. You begged people to get him off you. Begged people. You should be embarrassed. Stay off social media for good. You should be bloody embarrassed. I mean, that's a fool going on about boxing matches. Go on.
So Jake Shields is like, look, I will do it. I will fly to Houston and I'll box you. But I talked to your coach, and your own coach is like, yeah, there's no way he's showing up for that. Like, that's not happening.
Serious. So do you think he's just trying to get him to fly out to Houston to waste his time and not show up again? That would be an extremely gigantic bitch move. Oh my God. Well, anyway, he's cut from the UFC. I mean, I don't really particularly know the guy. He only had 3 fights. He was brought in to fight CM Punk, right? So I'm not overly familiar, but well, whatever. Moving on from that one. This weekend, what do you think? Imavov and Strickland, though. What do you reckon, Harrington? Who takes it?
I mean, Sean Strickland is probably going to be paying for those words, if I had to guess. I mean, you
think so?
You're letting a grappler, right? Like a really, like you just said, he's got his last name ends in a vowel and a V. You're talking smack about this guy quitting? I don't know. I think he might just wrestle you to death.
Well, yeah, he's on a 3-fight win streak as well, and against good opposition. I was just thinking, should we do on the channel? Should we do like our little post-fight show on the Believe You Me YouTube channel after the fights? If they don't end too late, I'm down for that. If you're down for that, and Anthony's down for that,
we could do a live.
That's what I'm saying. We'll do a live.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Maybe. What is going on? It's not a slow news.
You pick for that fight? You're not calling it, right?
No, I'm not. No. I don't know. Listen, because Strickland's good and he's awkward. You know, Imavov's the better grappler, probably hits a bit harder. Strickland uses a lot of jabs, but he can frustrate people with his movement. You know, he can be very, very elusive, and I think he'll do the same thing. And I think, I've got Imavov, simply because it's 5 rounds on short notice. Sean's always in the gym. He's one of those guys, but it's one thing ticking over and another one to get ready for 5. I don't think Sean, he's not going to knock him out. You never know, though, because even against Jared Cannonier, when he let the hands go, he landed some good combinations and he had some good pop and some good sting, So he might be of the impression or the mindset, I've got to get a finish. I've got to knock this guy out. Just like I was against Rockhold when I fought him the second time. Because I thought, shit, I can't go 5 rounds. Not a chance in hell. So I'm just going to have to swing, baby. And lo and behold, I caught it. I was like, whoa, what was that? So he might have the same mindset. So he might actually be way more aggressive. But if he plays his usual tactic, his usual game, which is, using the jab, maintaining range, and here and there exploding, I think if he does that, he'll probably lose against Imavov.
Well, so he did say this week, I heard just highlights, a snippet of a press conference, that he thinks that the judges don't understand his Floyd Mayweather-like style, right? Like, he argues that he's just going to keep landing, get out of the way with his defensive shell, like he's essentially unhittable in his mind, and he thinks that the judges for MMA can't process just how good he's doing. So do you think that would then lead to somebody being like, okay, if I can't outpoint fight, I need to look for this knockout?
Well, the only problem with that is that the problem with MMA judging is that the judges come from boxing. Okay? That's the only wrinkle in that argument, right? I'm not even going to get into the comparing Sean's boxing to Floyd Mayweather's, okay? I'm not even going to go there. The only problem with that, what he said, is that the judges are predominantly boxing judges in Las Vegas. Floyd Mayweather fights in Las Vegas predominantly. He's a Las Vegian, and the judges are Vegian. So, yeah, he's out of his goddamn mind there. He's out of his mind, But still, whatever, Trevor. What else have you got here in the non-MMA? Let's take a little look here. What do you reckon? I know nothing about this one, this number 3, this UK actress. I've never heard of Honeysuckle Weeks. First of all, Brian, can you, as Brian Harrington talks, I need to see a picture of her. Honeysuckle Weeks sounds like an attractive lady.
Right. And,
I have no idea what she looks like. I want to see an image, though, but continue.
Oh, 1 second. This website is buggy as shit.
So while yeah, I mean, she clearly is very attractive to at least one male friend of her.
Honeysuckle.
Honeysuckle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does she suck things?
This guy seemingly wanted a honeysuckle. So she says that she was out for it's like a night out on the town, drinks with some friends. She was told by a male.
Not what I was expecting, to be honest. She looks like, I'm sorry to cut you off there, Harrington. Just on the looks. No, go back, Brian. Go back. Not what I expected. With a name like Honeysuckle, I expected kind of like more of a page 3 kind of a porno type of image. Do you know what I mean? Maybe large fake boobs, fake ass, mini skirt, bit of leather, pumped up lips, long hair extensions, just ready to go. She looks like a nice young lady.
I think you're going in the wrong direction. Somebody who's named Honeysuckle's parents were hippies that followed the Grateful Dead around,
Yeah, I think I'm just focusing on the suckle bar too much. But you're right. Go on. Sorry, Hamilton, continue.
What's that word? Chav? Chav?
Chav.
Yeah. All right. That was
Council House and Violin. She's not a chav. She's not a chav.
No. I was picking up on the vibe I thought you were going for. So,
right. Sorry.
What she was saying is she went out for a night of drinks, right? A male friend said, come back, crash at my place. Then he apparently invited his girlfriend over, and she was worried that they were trying to pressure her into a threesome. So Honeysuckle, being way too drunk, got into a car, ended up hitting a parked car, and backed up right in front of the police. And, they eventually stopped her, arrested her, or brought her to the station, made her blow into the breathalyzer thing. She was twice over the legal limit, and she was convicted of drunk driving. The threesome excuse was not good enough to get her out of trouble.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a terrible situation that she was faced with. I mean, depends. It could have been good. It could have been bad. Has she been in anything big? Just bring up her IMDb page, Brian, because I've never heard of her. But have you ever had anyone try and coax you into a threesome, Harrington?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. I mean, there is. When I was homeless, that got me off the street for a night.
No. But when you were homeless, you were being fielded offers of sexual natures.
We traffic in some shady circles here, Mike.
It sounds like it. My God, yeah, I had threesomes, especially when I was homeless. I mean, what were you with? Dirty Mike and the Boys? Have you seen that film, The Other Guys? Have you seen The Other Guys? Yeah.
We're in the back of his Prius.
Yeah, in the back of his Prius. We will have sex in the back of that Prius. Harrington, Dirty Mike and the Boys. If Anthony was here, he would not have a clue what we were talking about.
Nah, dude, I feel like that's where Paul Craig was jumping on the movies quick. He's low-key a fan of Believe You Me, and was like, I want to hit Mike with movies right at the top.
Paul's the man. He really is the man. So she's doing quite a bit of work then, yeah. She's definitely a respected actress, yeah. Inspector Lindley Mysteries. I haven't seen that one for a while. All right, okay. Well, hey, fair play to her. She tried. God loves a trier. Do you drive, Hamilton? Do you have your driver's license?
Just got a car last weekend.
Did you really? Oh, well done. What did you get?
Yeah, man. It's a Volvo S60. Very safe.
Good safe cars. Swedish.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very reliable. Very safe. Well done, mate. Well done. Yeah, very good. Good for you. All right. What do we do? I mean,
we got questions.
We got questions. How long have we been going for? Quite some time, I think, right? Yeah. Because there's not a lot to talk about. Right, and I'll say this as well, and stay on the screen. A lot of people talking shit about me and Anthony for not addressing the Dana White stuff, you know. You got to understand, I've known Dana since 2005, you know, and whilst I've done a lot of business with him. He's also been a friend to me as well. And when something like that happens, which is a bloody, it's an awful situation. And of course, he's not right. And there's no excuses for it. And he said that himself. He's already come out and condemned himself, you know. So I agree with what he said. But also the fact is that I have a personal relationship with the guy. And he said, that doesn't stop when he goes home. He has a wife. He has children. I'm not going to talk about that stuff. And like it was the same when Chael Sonnen had that thing. I didn't talk about Chael Sonnen because everyone was like, oh, you talk about everything. You don't talk about that. So if it's somebody I know personally and it involves their family, then I'm not going to talk about it. But Dana was talking about it at length again yesterday. So I thought, all right, well, maybe I can say that. You know, no one's happy about that situation. He's certainly not, you know, and the whole thing is just massively regrettable, isn't it? Let's be honest. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I just thought I'd address that because I see you all, you know. What do you want me to do? What do you want? He's already said it as, you know, as well as anyone can say it, to be quite frank. But anyway, on a lighter note, Harrington, you were going to say something, or was it just a lead into the questions?
I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember. I didn't know it was ever going to be. Look, as soon as you were like, yeah, we're talking about the Dana thing. We're not talking about the Dana thing because. And here's another thing. Everyone said that I cut you off the other day because I did when Anik was on. I shout out John Anik. Wasn't he awesome on Monday? Anik was incredible.
Anik was awesome. Oh, well, exactly. Yeah, everyone was like, and even Rebecca said, "How come John Anik always talks in his commentator voice?" You know, because when I'm talking, I just talk like this, and when I'm commentating, I accentuate it a little bit. You know what I mean? My broadcasting voice. But John, yeah, he's like he's a professional, and what a guy! It was fantastic. But here's the thing, because I throw a few little links here and there. Oh, maybe talk about this, maybe talk about that. And we had that thing about the person that identifies now as a woman and blah, 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 blah. And that was for me and Anthony to have a laugh with. Me and Anthony. Do you know what I mean? Because me and Anthony are very comfortable with one another, right? And we can have a laugh with it. John Anik, who's a very, very professional man. Do you know what I mean? He's as professional as they come. He thought he would come on the Believe You Me podcast and be maybe talking about mixed martial arts and having a bit of small talk. You know, not straight away Harrington. The first question he throws at him is about transgender potential minefields. Do you know what I mean? Like he's like, I didn't want to talk about this. Ask me about Alexander Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev. Do you know, that was why I jumped away. Whoa, John, you're fine. Let me stop this here. So everyone's like, Bisping's a prick on Harrington. Once again, no. Harrington just, yes, we put it. I said, we'll have a chat about that. But I meant for me and Anthony, because Anthony was late, if you recall. So we started the show with John Anik. So there you go. Harrington, what have you got?
Dude, in hindsight, yeah, I'm an idiot. So thank you for stopping me from.
Not what I said. I was just thinking of John. That's all.
Of course. All right. If you are enjoying this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you find podcasts, make sure that you subscribe on there. Leave a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps us out. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you're following the channel and you hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new episode drops. And if you want to catch over 400 episodes completely ad-free and uncensored, head to gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get yourself a 7-day free trial. Check out over 20 great shows on the network.
And remember, if you want to send the question in, you want to be featured, you want to get your 5 seconds of fame, like these guys in a moment, bympod@gmail.com. Let me ask you though, Harrington, I've got a question for you. The baby, which is on the way, which is due soon. How's it all going? How's preparations? 10 weeks? 10
weeks.
10 weeks. Wow. Yeah. And again, apologies, boy or girl? Girl. Name not decided and not unveiling.
No, I think we got it. I'm good with it.
What's the name?
Aura Jane.
Aura.
That's
good. I like that. Aura. Got a nice aura about it. Yeah. Oh, Aura Jane. Jane Aura.
Or those hippies Brian was talking about.
Yeah.
They really are.
Definitely. Well, you can't insult a man's like, oh, we'll mock the vest. We'll mock the bow tie. We'll mock the question to John Anik. I'm not going to mock what you've decided to call your daughter. And it's a beautiful name, but it is on the hippy-dippy spectrum. But I like it, though. It's nice. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Are you excited?
Oh, I've never been more excited for anything.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. It's going to change your life, mate. It really, really is going to change your life. But, all right. And by the way, just so you know, this Aura Jane girl, we were going to do a live Believe You Me, but we're not.
Ruined it.
Aura ruined it. So she's already ruining things before she's even born.
It's terrible.
She's got a bad aura about her.
Yeah, she has. She's ruining it. She's absolutely ruining it. And she'll probably come early now as well. Just you wait and see. So you could have done it eventually.
Probably.
The end of
probably.
It. Well, how well. Whatever.
Just book the trip and, we'll let the universe take care of it.
Let the universe take care. We don't want Harrington to get his phone smashed again. No,
I'm good.
We don't want that. Brian, what have we got question-wise?
All right. So this first one here we have from Harley Beachy.
Harley Beachy.
Hey, Believe You Me crew, it's Harley here. I'm an Australian who's currently traveling through Europe, so I'm coming to you guys from Tallinn, Estonia. Just a quick question, because I just got done listening to you guys talk to the GOAT, John Anik. I am a young guy who would love to get into the UFC or just MMA in general as a commentator/analyst. That is my absolute dream. And I have started a little passion project in the form of a podcast. I'm not going to sell it on here, so I'm not going to plug it. But I was just wondering, do any of you guys, and this is also directed at Brian and Harrington, because I know they literally work in this industry. Is there something more I should be doing? Should I be doing a sports broadcasting degree? Should I be working on promoting the podcast even more? Get on Instagram? What's the best way to do this? Love the show, guys. And Bisping, leave Harrington alone. He does a great job, okay? Leave him alone.
I always say Harrington does a great job. I'm always blowing smoke up your ass. I'm always sending nice text messages, always give a nice little debrief, always say well done. It's called a little bit of banter, and you guys obviously haven't got a sense of fucking humour. I was going to give you some good advice there, but once again, Bisping's a prick, Harrington's awesome, it's Anthony Smith's show. When is Bisping going to fuck off? There wouldn't be a show, okay? There wouldn't fucking be a show. To answer the question, let me see. Well, first of all, you should have plugged your podcast, mate. You should have done that because, you should have. The little things like that, you know what I mean? You got to get your name out there, mate. But what he mentioned there, obviously, if that is your dream and that's what you want to do, then obviously you want to do as much training as possible. And if you can do like a journalist degree or something like that, or a sports broadcasting course, I don't know if there is such a thing, but if there is something like that close to you that you have access to, then why wouldn't you do that? In anything in life, you want to be the best you can be, And yeah, sometimes you can wing it. Sometimes you can fall into it and still be great and all the rest of it. But if you have the opportunity to train in something and really become a skilled and proficient and an expert in that area, then do that. Take that. But yeah, you want to promote your podcast. You want to start doing a YouTube channel. You want to so you have an example of your work. So whilst you're learning your craft, learning your trade, you're still working on it. So do your podcast, do a YouTube channel, do breakdowns of the fights or whatever it is. Even if nobody watches them, you're still getting the work. Try and get a few interviews here and there. But Harrington and Brian, what do you guys say?
Dude, commitment and consistency.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Harrington was sleeping on benches outside,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, dude. Whatever it takes to keep a roof over your head.
Hold on. So you're saying you hoard yourself out to keep a roof over your head, Harrington?
I would.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's worse ways to pay the rent.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I lost weight too.
I mean, if there's beautiful women, of course, if there's Dirty Mike and the boys, I'm out of it.
There's a scale of beautiful, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And she would have broken it.
Yeah. But go on, advice time.
No, I mean, dude, I've said many times before, I want to work. I've always wanted to work in this industry, right? Like 7-8 years ago, like I just got a wild hair in my ass. It was like, this is what I want to be doing more than anything in the world. I put in, I submitted to be the producer of another very popular podcast in this field. I bet you can guess which one it is.
You've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Brian, which one was it?
It was the Errol Wani show.
Oh, yeah, that's
Not even that one. That was I applied to be an intern. I applied to be a producer of Fighter and the Kid when they were looking for a new producer back in the day. Dude, I have always wanted to work in this, and I just wasn't going to take no for an answer. So it's like like I said, that story with Ariel is true, and it's like you knock down, if by the 20th door you get to, eventually Michael Bisping answers, and it's like, yeah, sure, whatever, kid, come along.
Yeah, I was but it's to be fair, you can thank Lewis for that one. I didn't know you from Adam.
I do every day.
Well, don't thank him too much. Brian, anything to add before we get another question?
I mean, I started trying to just do this broadcasting thing. I was just trying to produce shows, just trying to make some money, and I just ground at it forever, doing it by myself, like finding people who wanted to do shows and working for them for free and just doing all the shit. And then one day somebody hits you up and they're like, "Hey, I got a job."
Well, that's how it goes, though, is it?
Yeah.
Generally, if something that you want to do, if you're passionate about it and you love doing it, you will do it for free. Like martial arts or whatever, that wasn't always a path to greatness. Look at Liam, what he was saying before. Anything that you're doing is worth trying, worth doing, that you love and you're passionate about it, then it's all part of the journey. But you got to be ready for some rejection, because a lot of people are going to say no. A lot of people are going to shut the door in your face or not pick up your, respond to emails and things like that. So get used to that stuff. But also in the meantime, train as hard as you can.
Just one other thing to add: if you're feeling discouraged,
waiting for it, you put the finger up. That's like me not saying no was the allowance for you to talk. So don't say one more thing to add. See, it's the flow. It's the flow. It's the go. Your turn.
If you got 5 people listening to you, right? Just picture like if you had 5 people who listened to every word you said when you showed up to the bar, you would keep going to that bar, right? Like if you have 10 people listening to you, 20 people listening to you, if you have 200,
what would that make that person, Harrison? What word would describe that person in the bar with them 20 people listening?
The mayor,
the center of attention.
No, not the mayor, not the center of attention.
The guy holding court? I don't know.
It would make you a raconteur.
Oh.
He was never going to get that.
It's a raconteur. A raconteur. Anyway, go on, continue, Mr. Raconteur.
The point I'm making is, while these numbers may feel pretty discouraging when you look at somebody like Mr. Beast getting 8 million views in 2 days, just know that, like, picture what those actual bodies of people would look like. And if you have 200 people listen to you, if 200 people showed up to a parking lot to hear you talk every week, the government would have tabs on you because you're a cult leader. You know what I'm saying? So there is some small victories in this, and accept every single one, take every single one as a benchmark. There's not too long ago that I remember on this show, it was like, oh my God, we got 10,000 views in a week. This is crazy. This show's blowing up. And it's like, look at it now, and it's like, my God, man.
That's a really good point. That actually is a really good point. Well said. Brian, what else we got, bud?
All right, so this next question is from Stu from New Zealand.
Stu from New.
Hey there, believe you me, Stuart here, originally from the UK, but now living over in New Zealand, with a question for Anthony and Michael. Back in my younger days, I did some pretty sweet Kung Fu classes in North Wales, and we had a cool silk sash instead of a belt. One day when I went into the dojo or school hall, I was told in all seriousness that because I'd put my sash on the left instead of the right, I was actually looking for a fight to the death. Luckily, I avoided that by moving it back to life, and I'm still here for the call today. But my question for you both is, what's the biggest load of shit you ever heard in a dojo?
Oh, God. I mean, there's a lot of shit flowing about in those dojos. And McDojo Life, I say it all the time, give it a follow on Instagram. They highlight some of the wildest shit. I mean, I won't say his name because, he's a well-known guy. You lot won't know him, but he's a sweet old man. Do you know what I mean? That did jiu-jitsu, so I don't want to shame him. But I remember, this old guy, he's definitely dead now, because I was 10 at the time, and he looked 120 then. It was called Bill Rankin. It was Lankin for Jiu-Jitsu. But he's probably, I don't want to disrespect him, but still, he was doing this thing where 20 people would grab his gi, all big people. And like 20 people had hold of him in a different way. And he'd just go like that. And they would all go flying through the air. Do you know what I mean? But as a kid, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Of course, now it's like, you just grab him by the throat and crush his throat and kill him. You know, it's nonsense. Another time I was with this other coach, Sensei, and we were on this training. We used to go on these, what he would call like these druid expeditions. We were on a camping trip in Wales, and we were on the edge of this like cliff by the beach. It was beautiful, actually, looking back. And believe it or not, this kind of actually works. Sounds ridiculous, but it did work. He said, right, do that with your hands, right? You know, make that with your finger and your thumb together. And you had a partner each. Right? And the partner has to put his fingers like the hands like that, but without touching them, so you can't feel them, right? And then you've got to close your eyes, right? And imagine that ring that you've made there is metal. It's a metal ring, okay? Your body is metal, and you can feel that it's metal. And he went into all deepness, you know, and talking about it. Stop doing that. That's distracting. It looks somewhat sexual, Harrington. They would go into this, like, you feel the metal down your arms and the blah, 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 blah. And it's an unbreakable ring and all the rest of it. You know, so you see, we're all standing there on the edge of this fucking cliff in Wales, right? But dudes with our fingers like this, and the other guy's there. And he says, close my eyes. And like, the guy's going to try and separate your finger and thumb. And the guy was like, wow, I couldn't separate your finger and thumb, Mike. I couldn't do it. And I'm like, what? It worked. It fucking worked. And he's like, and he's like, do it without thinking about it. And he did it. He's like, yeah, look at that. Easy. But when you do that exercise, oh, look at that. I can't do it. And anyway, I went to school, told a few people, quickly stopped telling that story because I was laughed at and mocked greatly. But I tell you what, I think it did work. The power of the mind.
It's almost as good as walking into the woods with a trophy in a bag.
What's that one?
Oh, that's George Dukes, right?
Oh, Frank Dukes?
Frank Dukes, yeah.
Frank Dukes. USA.
Ridiculous.
Give me one more, Bri.
All right, we got a question here from Eric from Wisconsin, and he works for the Athletic Commission.
Nice.
What up, BYM crew? This is Eric from West Virginia. Just a quick preface and then a question for Michael and Anthony. I currently work for the Athletic Commission within my home state of West Virginia doing combat sports. I've done a lot of the fight inspection work. Anthony and Michael, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The guys in the back that sign off on your hand wraps and walk you to the cage and all that shit. I've judged a few events, and I just this past weekend had my first referee assignment. So that leads to my question. Do either of you have any aspirations to do any refereeing or any judging later on, anything of that sort, and try to fix what appears to be an uptick in poor judging and refereeing that we've seen lately? Try to fix this shit from the inside. I mean, I know you guys for sure get paid more to do the commentary and analyst work that you do, because I've heard some stories and rumors of what the higher tier referees like Herb Dean and such, they get paid, and it's not bad. It's pretty damn good. It's a lot more than I make in shithole West Virginia. But yeah, that's my question. Just wanted to know if you have any aspirations to do any of that work. And also, Harrington, I love you, man, but I'm going to need to see a DNA test when that baby comes, because ain't no way somebody fucked you. Bye.
And my friend in Wisconsin, right?
West Virginia,
right there. Started with a W. He claimed to have threesomes when he was homeless. So I'm just going to be honest. When I was younger, I wanted to be champion of the world. I wanted to be a fighter. I never sat there and said, I want to be the referee. Do you know what I mean? Never wanted to be the referee. Do you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, of course. So what I'm trying to do is just in a humorous way answer the question. The answer is no, I've never thought about being a judge or a referee. I love what I do. When I was fighting, I never imagined a world or a living or a career outside of fighting. I love what I do. I love calling the fights. Love it. So no, that doesn't enter my mind for a second. I would love to call the fights. And if you don't like my voice or what I do, unlucky Kentucky, because I'm hoping to do this until the day I die. You know what I mean? I want to be, who's that old one from boxing? You know, like the Larry something, but whatever.
Larry Merchant.
Larry Merchant. I want to do this till I'm 60 or 70 if possible. Never want to referee a fight. Refereeing a fight is a very, very tough job. Very tough job. Judging is as well. Judging isn't easy. You know, it isn't easy, and then they get a lot of shit. I don't think anyone's doing it maliciously, getting things wrong. There has been an uptick in bullshit decisions lately, but yeah. No, but to answer your question, no. I don't want to. I want to fucking commentate till the day I die. Because it does pay.
I don't have a commentator.
It pays really good.
Dude, that rules. And obviously, I think anybody is taking that gig. But I do think, like, as a fan of the sport, I was telling, my wife a bit ago, like, I'm thinking about it, just going and judging some fights on the regional scene. I bet I can do better than some of these, like, boxing judges that they're making take these crappy MMA fights. Like, what's the downside?
I'm listening to you. I'm just bringing this up for a reason.
Want to make a call? Get me on with Nevada State Athletic Commission, dude. I'm in. I'll start judging some fights.
Idiots. MMA. Isn't that?
Idiot MMA. That's me. That's what I'm in your phone under.
No. I've got we went to, we had that rules meeting, didn't we? That seminar. And so I took notes. There was a lot of notes. There's a lot of stuff. It's way more complicated than what you think. But you should do that, Harrington. You should do that. Yeah. And I should go eat because it's 2:00 in the afternoon. That's 5:00 for you on the West Coast and God knows wherever else you are in the world. 10 p.m. in the UK, Greenwich Mean Time. I haven't eaten a thing. Intermittent fasting. I haven't drank a thing all week either. But more importantly, I haven't eaten today. I'm starving. So we're going to go, guys, because it's the end of the show. Leon Edwards, what a guy. Big shout out to Leon. Thank you very much for your time, champ. Paul Craig, he's in action next week. Very, very excited for that fight with Johnny Walker. And I'm very interested to hear what Anthony has to say on his take. And I get Paul being like that, you know what I mean? So that'll be a fun show. We will be back on Monday with Anthony Smith. As always, Brian and Harrington. The show wouldn't be the same without you guys. Everyone thinks I pick on you. Everyone thinks I talk shit. They don't see my kindness. They don't see my messages of support. They don't see my Christmas bonuses. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, they definitely don't see that.
Yeah. You know? Come on. Bit of bands. Anyway, have a great weekend, guys. And the fights are back. All right. Goodbye.